My last experience with the Jennifer Lopez movie left much to be desired, so I approached her new Netflix sci-fi movie, Atlas, with curious optimism. Despite my reservations, I was curious to see how Lopez would fare in a science fiction setting, especially in a movie that has intense action and futuristic themes. Now, Atlas brings a flurry of shootouts, explosions, and high-stakes drama. The film is set in a dystopian future where artificial intelligence has become a significant threat, and Lopez's character, Atlas, must navigate this treacherous landscape to save humanity. Can this action-packed narrative hold your attention and deliver a satisfying sci-fi experience? Humanity's survival is at stake as AI technology spirals out of control. In Atlas, Jennifer Lopez stars as the main character, a battle-hardened soldier in a future where artificial intelligence has taken over. Atlas finds herself in a desperate fight to save humanity from an AI determined to eradicate human life. As Atlas grapples with the increasingly dominant AI, she must navigate a series of high-stake battles, intense shootouts, and complex moral dilemmas. The central conflict revolves around her efforts to thwart the AI's plan whilst dealing with her own personal traumas and the consequences of the AI's actions on the human race. Set within a dystopian future, Atlas explores themes of survival, resistance, and ethical implications of advanced technology. The film delves deep into the dark side of AI and its potential to turn against humanity, offering a thrilling and thought-provoking narrative. Now, in previous Jennifer Lopez movies, I have been overwhelmed, and because of that, I was hesitant, but I was also intrigued to see her take on the sci-fi role in the Netflix movie Atlas. Having witnessed her performances in less than stellar roles, I wondered if her new venture into science fiction, filled with intense shootouts and explosions, would finally showcase her talents effectively. Despite my initial doubts, Atlas manages to surprise with its thrilling sequences and Lopez's commanding performance. The narrative, while somewhat familiar in its themes, offers enough twists and turns to keep the viewer engaged. And I do think it's a refreshing take for the sci-fi genre. We're getting roughly an hour and 50 minutes with this Netflix movie. Now, the storyline for this movie is pretty interesting. I mean, Netflix have done some seriously cool things here, with it being centered around a future where artificial intelligence is literally going to take over the world and wipe humanity off the face of the world. Now, the really cool thing about this movie is that it draws parallels between current discussions about the ethical implications of advanced AI technology. As society grapples with the increasing presence of AI in everyday life, we journey with Atlas as we explore the consequences of these advancements, making the storyline both thrilling and thought-provoking. Now, for me, the storyline is pretty interesting, especially with what's going on in the world today, and it all revolves around the feel of AI in the future and making that realistic connection to the present. The rise of AI is a very, very worrying one. We could go in any direction, and I think that Netflix have done something really cool here. They've released it at a time where AI is on the rise. We all know that. And they've released this movie at a time where the relevancy and relatability to the movie is at an all-time high. And the other thing I like about the movie is that there's steady pacing. We're brought into things in a natural way and no stones left unturned. Now, for me, Netflix have been making some interesting moves with bringing out a lot of movies that have a lot of relevancy that take place in today's world. We've seen it, for example, with The Kitchen having relevancy for when the cost of living crisis kicked off. Now, I did find it really engaging to think that AI in today's world is a massive disruption. And what Atlas does really well is that you start to see what that future could look like one of those routes into the future, a potential path that we could all be finding ourselves in. And the thing is, we're already seeing it in today's world. You can argue that there's loads of different implications that are sort of adding relevancy to why we are where we are with the problems that we all face in society, but a major one is all to do with AI as well, because we've come into that phase where the technology has been introduced. We're finding more productive ways to get stuff done at a quicker rate thanks to AI. But with that being said, it means that we have decreased number of resources that are needed to be able to do all of this work. Because you pile on more work to an individual, they're able to handle more. And the other thing I really liked about this movie was the surprising twist with the main character, Atlas Shepard. And it was one that I just didn't see coming. I knew that she played a part and she was the cause of reasoning behind this turn of events that were taking place, but I didn't know that she was the cause to that level of magnitude to the outcomes of the events that took place. And it was quite pivotal. And the other thing that's really cool about this movie is that every time there might be a moment where the movie starts to lose the audience, they bring you back into being engaged in the movie. And I thought that was a good touch. Now for me, the movie ran well. Where confusion might have started to seep in, they managed to bring it back and fill in the gap that they had created. We did have questions that rose throughout the movie, but what was done well was when those questions had arisen, they managed to fill those gaps, making you feel a good sense of closure by the end of the movie, unlike other Netflix movies that have been released. When it comes to lingering questions, I do have a couple, but with the intention of wanting to see more. How does the world of Atlas function outside of the main plot? Why does the supposedly advanced AI make seemingly basic mistakes, like forgetting essential steps in procedure? And what are the broader implications of the film's events on the world? Now, the main stars of the movie: Jennifer Lopez as Atlas Shepard, Sims Liu as Harlem Shepard, Lana Parrilla as Val Shepard, Mark Strong as General Booth, Abraham Poplar as Casca Decius, Greg Cohen as the AI pilot Smith, and Sterling K. Brown as Colonial Elias Banks. Now for me, the ones to watch are Atlas, Harlan, Smith, the AI pilot, and Elias Banks. The ones to watch, out of the ones to watch, I would have to say Atlas Shepard and Smith, the AI pilot. Atlas is our main character, and she's wrapped in emotion that are all to do with her past experiences, which were brought more and more into the fold as we progress through the story. And Smith, the AI pilot, is a very interesting character, because in all of this we're seeing AI at its most villainous state, but Smith provides that other side of the coin where we're seeing the bright and the good side of AI in comparison. And it's really cool to see that character growth from the AI. Now, we have particular character development in this movie, and some more than others. Atlas Shepard, played by Jennifer Lopez, is on a mission to track down her AI brother, Harlan, who is an AI terrorist. And what I do like about Atlas as a character is the connection that we're able to make with her, because she is wrapped in emotion, and the audience is slowly brought closer and closer to Atlas as we progress through the story arc. Her distrust for AI is massive in the early stages of the movie, gradually easing as we move through the story's arc when she's paired with the AI pilot Smith. Now, Sims Liu, acting as Harlan Shepard, is a very interesting character, but the annoying thing is we don't really get to see him until the latter stages of the movie, and I really would have wanted to see more of this character. What's a real eye-opener in this movie is when we're finally brought into the fold with why Harlan's doing what he's doing, and that, coupled with the real cause behind what he's doing and who set these events in motion, are an exciting twist. When we do get to see Harlan, it is pretty interesting, because every time he comes one-to-one with a human, one that he cares about, that is, and we are literally thinking he's going to give us some sort of emotion, he doesn't. It's incredible. His own sister, or his supposed sister. And I really like that from the movie, because it keeps you engaged and makes you think, oh my god, I can't believe it. In your mind, that is. And it becomes nail-biting stuff when you think about the motivations and objectives that he has. And when you think about where we are in our AI journey, in our world, and what has already started to happen, it makes you think, how far will we go with AI? Now for me, the beginning of Atlas feels a little disjointed. There seem to be abrupt scene changes that transport the audience into new locations, and characters without sufficient context, making it challenging to follow the timeline and the setting initially. This lack of coherence makes it difficult to determine if the events are flashbacks or occurring simultaneously, which disrupts the storytelling flow. However, as the story progresses, these transitions start to smooth out, and the story begins to gel more cohesively. Atlas introduces a gripping mystery around the midpoint, which significantly increases the film's intrigue. This mystery involves some inhabitants left behind by the protagonists, adding layers to the storyline and deepening the narrative's complexity. Now, outside of the two lead characters, I did like Casca, who's played by Abraham Poplar, and the pilot Smith, played by Greg Cohen. Casca is sort of like the right-hand man to Harlan, and